Good evening, everyone. It's June 23rd, 2024. I hope everyone is surviving this last week with the heat wave. But today I was wanting to talk about crime and what's going on in that, and protecting yourself from what's going on in that area right now, what I've seen and what's happening in the news. And I'm going to refer back to a video that Julie and I did, and this was back in September the 28th, 2023. It was Julie and Street Girls and Defending Themselves, and the other part of it, I'm not sure if that was the same video, but it's important as well as seeing sunglasses being sold on the buses that she was also observing. So last week on the national news, that in Edmonton, Alberta, some bullies bullying another youth used bear spray on the youth they were bullying. And that this is one of the things that was brought up by Julie in that particular video, was about the bear spray. So I brought this up. This was brought up between Julie and I in September of last year. And last year, according to the statistics coming in from Alberta, they had 30 reports of bear spray being used in the schools. That was in 2023. And it was increasing every year. So now they're thinking of making sure that it's sort of put behind the counter, and you have to be 18 years and older now to pick up bear spray. So I just wanted to tell you about that. And as also in the last couple of weeks, speaking of bear spray, someone also suggested me that I should carry bear spray, as the area that I live in is not too safe. So bear spray seems to be a subject, and something that Julie and I definitely brought up last September. So I think it's something we need to think about as well. And this is not the answer, because if you're using bear spray to protect yourself, it can also be used to assault you as well, the other way around. So we really need to kind of think about that one for sure, and see. There's got to be a better method than bear spray, that's for sure. Also, in the last couple of weeks, as a news store that was being robbed, the store owner took it upon himself to try and stop it, jumped on the robber, bringing him down, and the other customers joined in to hold this man down till the police arrived. So they caught one of them. One out of the four was caught. The fifth time, this was the fifth time his store was being robbed of his high-end sunglasses. So that's where this is important, where the sunglasses come in again. When the robbers told him that he could rob his store and he could do nothing about it, and basically he could do do it at any time he wanted to. So just a minute. So the poor store owner, being fed and being robbed by what it appeared to be the same people, and the man was daring him to stop him. Overwhelmed, he went into overdrive for sure and into action. The storekeeper to stop him. Also, the police keep reminding us not to intervene for our personal safety. But this robber, by flaunting this in the storekeeper's face, he couldn't do anything. They are also flaunting in the police's face. Just catch me if you can. This reminds me of a childhood expression as a child in the schoolyard, which is, nah, 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 catch me if you can. The last time I heard this said was watching the original Star Trek series in the 1960s, and where the Enterprise landed on a planet were due to some aging disease, killed off the population as they entered puberty, only leaving the younger children to survive till they reached puberty. Then the crew on the planet who came down got it, and the children would go, nah, 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 catch us if you can. So that was the interesting thing that I can say that got brought up from the past. It sure brought my memories back. It also comes down to a dare. We are all being dared to stop the thefts from ordinary people, police, storekeepers, car thieves, the online scams, and the list goes on. It is also human nature to get so frustrated that the dare is at some point is going to be taken up. In an earlier century, it was dueling pistols, perhaps over a lady, a man's sense of honor, when two men would start going back to back, each with a pistol in hand. They both started walking in each direction, and after so many paces, they turned around, shot, and fired at each other. At each other. Just a minute here, sorry. They kept telling me, it's a minute, wrong page. The last man standing would win the dare. This was a conclusion, the gentleman's way of settling things. The civilized way to settle things, not like, for example, today's drive-by shootings and facing your adversary, taking the coward's way out. It's amazing to me that people never learn their lessons from history. History has so much to teach us. However, what I see coming, and people are going to retaliate in one way or another against those who are deliberately hurting them or other people. Example, the worldwide protests are getting far more violent. In some cases, people are turning on our politicians when they cannot solve the world's problems. Again, this is just my opinion and what I have been seeing through the news on TV. It also seems like the pirates' old expression, "let's parlay." It seems people have forgotten how to personally parlay with one another. Too much technology, from TV to social media, and hiding behind the technology, so we have forgotten how to parlay in person with each other. We've forgot how to communicate. We forgot how communication between people is so important. Sometimes it seems we have forgotten how to think for ourselves and come up with our own decisions based on our own free thinking and coming to our own conclusions. However, we also learn as children by watching what our parents as well as adults do and handle situations as we grow up, as well as our own mistakes. I can give an example of myself. At about 4.5 years old, one evening in summer, I snuck out of our backyard to go down the street to play with the older children, which was against my parents' rules, as I had to be with them to supervise me so I wouldn't get into trouble. This evening trouble I did. The older children were in a neighbor's laneway and all throwing stones onto the street. They kept telling me to throw the stones onto the street, so I can still remember the older kids telling me to throw them, and I kept telling them no, I wouldn't throw stones into the street, that my mom and dad would be mad at me. Plus, you don't throw stones as you might hit someone and hurt them. However, having dared me and calling me a chicken, I finally picked up a stone and threw it as far as I could onto the street. Well, just as I threw the stone into the street, a man driving a green pickup truck drove by. My stone landed in the middle of the windshield, putting a large crack through the window. Was I in trouble when I saw what I had just done? Although not on purpose, I was just following the other children with their taunting at me and not following my own gut, feeling it was wrong. So, of course, when the man got out of the truck, very upset, and wanted to know who threw the rock, all the kids turned to me and pointed to me, saying, "She did it." I was sold out. Then my parents got called. Well, this was one time I sure have never seen my father so mad. Not only did this normally very patient man, who loved me, blew a gasket, and I got not only a lecture, as I should know right from wrong, and just because people tell me to do something that I know is wrong, I should use my head and not do it. I also got a slap on the thigh from him so I would remember next time, think before I act. My father had to replace the man's windshield, which in the late 1950s cost $25, a good chunk of change for those days. Today people seem to be acting on impulse as well before they think things through. This lesson has followed me through my life and generally kept me out of serious trouble. As for the other kids who told me if they would just think before they acted what the consequences are if they are caught, and in some cases only get a slap on the wrist, or much worse. Plus, if caught, and other say youth who are involved are going to give up the other man's name who got away, so they can bargain for a less penalty, or some people hope to pick up a reward for information in their capture. So this is the way we're working on today. But I also wanted to come back. I read something very interesting on the internet that really corresponds this, and this was coming right through a lesson taught by Life. Just what I've been saying. This is how they said it. Your children are watching you. They're learning from you, and they're practicing it out in the world. They will love how you love and hate how you hate. Remember this, because we can't expect our children to grow up to be good people if we're not showing them how. And I definitely know that my father was definitely showing me how. My parents certainly did. They took the time to. So this is basically what I wanted to talk about today. It's getting, I know, a bit long. But again, please people, start thinking of what you're doing. Start, if you have to as an adult and you see a small child in some kind of a conflict, try and intervene and show that there's a sensible way of sorting things out today. So I'm going to leave it there. And everyone, take care. Have a safe day. Definitely watch your surroundings. And we shall talk again soon. And bye-bye. Take care.